There we go.
Very good. Okay, we're now recording, so nobody say anything that you'll regret. Very good.
There we go.
For those of you on the Zoom, we have a very high-tech setup with 2 laptops. So if you see me between moving between cameras, that's fine. We have a cross-connect with the Zoom, which hopefully is working sound-wise as well. We are recording and a separate video camera. And Kayla, thank you in advance for all you're going to do.
Okay, that's why I actually went ahead and asked for the recording, right?
No, switch the Zoom to speaker view. All right.
The Zoom is already on speaker view on this one, on this laptop. That one's just for me to control. So, SMOFCons. SMOFCon generally bids 1 year in advance. Obviously, a relatively late bid has come in for 2026 from Lisbon, and I would ask Esther to come forward to be the main speaker, and we'll just get your pack loaded up. And just checking on Zoom, you can see the slides as well. Does somebody put their hands up? Yeah, I see it's good. Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is a bid for SMOFCon 43 in Lisbon. Next slide, please. Okay, hooray! I like this slide because I think I've done quite a lot of talking about this actually, that I don't know, there are things that we might want to do that we possibly don't do, and I think these very cheerful volunteers and cheerful cosplayers are sort of, they speak well, I think, of being a fan, so yes. And that's kind of one of the things that we want to try to do with the incoming SMOFCon. So next slide. Okay, so what we really want to do with the SMOFCon is to capitalise on the influx of new con runners. We've seen a lot of new people. There are loads of new people here, which is absolutely fantastic. Note, I am not saying young, I'm saying new. And we want to sort of bookend the way that the convention works around that. So almost do it in a sort of reverse way where we're getting newer voices on the sessions that we want to run, rather than kind of relying on some of the older ones. And in order to do that, we're going to do a bit of a sort of flip the switch a little bit with the way that we're thinking about programming. But we're basically sort of looking at slightly different ways of managing things. We're seeing lots of different management styles coming in. We're seeing lots of different new ideas coming in, and we kind of want to work with that again, rather than the sort of tried and tested. I mean, there is room for both, but we again sort of really want to listen to new things. So yeah, next slide, please. Okay, so it's going to be in Lisbon. This is a really good place to locate it because of the incoming Eurocon, which means that it will also bring in local fans and people who, again, want to sort of have experience. Lisbon 2027 Eurocon, this is the person who's actually going to be doing our logo, in fact, confirmed last night, Miguel Jorge, I think that's correct. So that's very exciting. And SMOFCon has been there before as well, and it was a popular location in Europe. So yes, next slide, please. Okay, so we will be using the hotel that we used before, having checked that it can take a larger capacity, because obviously not obviously, because you might not all know this, the SMOFCon that was there previously was just at the end of the pandemic, so it was considerably less people attended as a result. However, we've looked at the capacity and we think we can scale that up pretty easily. These are the current rack rates. So this is what will, if you look online, these are the costs that you'll get at the moment. So 120 to 140 euros per night, including breakfast, and then 95 to 115 without. And we're anticipating that that's going to be the rate that we are getting. It may be slightly lower, but I don't want to overpromise there. Twin rooms and suites are also available. It is 2 stops from the airport, which is fantastic. It has free Wi-Fi, and it also, if you are eating, it's very near eateries, it's very near places that have supermarkets, there's a nearby mall, so it's all very kind of on site. We were talking about it earlier, and the area itself has been redeveloped and was redeveloped for a really big conference that happened there. So again, it's one of those sort of semi-industrial areas that the industry is confident, which fit the purpose. Next, please. Thank you. So when are our dates? They will be this approximate weekend, this time next year, and that will avoid both Thanksgiving, which is the week beforehand, and for those of you in the UK, that will also involve avoid Dragon Meet, partly because I'm
Oh, it's the
working.
Berlin one already? Maybe I'm an hour late.
Sorry, somebody's got their mic unmuted on Zoom. If you could mute, please, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so next, please. Okay, so this is the committee. It will be co-chaired by myself and Vincent Docherty's here. So far, we already have Steve Cooper, who will be handling some of the money, hopefully most of the money. Tammy Coxon, Andrew January will be looking at some of our website design. I have asked a couple of other people to deal with that as well. That includes the hybrid and online stuff. Rogerio Ribeiro will be our facilities person on site. Again, Lisbon Conrunner, who some of you may have met already, he is here. Go and speak to him, he's lovely. And Miguel, who I've already mentioned, who has designed our logo. So I'm not quite sure I put him on the committee. I think I was putting the team together there. So, Ron, thank you very much. Okay, so what to expect? As I said, we're looking at a bit of a record scratch on this one. So what we want to do is we want to focus on group work a bit more than we usually do. And that's because, again, I think some of you know that I'm a teacher. One of the things that I experience a lot is that when people are in the room, they often have a lot of expertise, but they're not necessarily people that like putting their hands up in auditoriums like this, right? That can be really intimidating for people. And so what we want to do is we want to have a much more sort of workshop-centered discussion track where people are able to sit in small groups and share information. If there's really, really interesting ideas, for example, maybe start as a panel and then the panelists form groups and then they sort of talk with people. There's been a role-playing version of that. There's been all sorts of suggestions, but it seems to be being quite well received from the people that I've been talking to already. We're also looking at kind of mentoring sessions and AMA sessions where, again, people kind of can sort of volunteer to be mentors and people can kind of speak to them. Vince was also saying the panel that he tends to run, the people who come to it, he always asks what they want, and actually they tend to want really different things. So perhaps we could provide an opportunity for people to be able to speak to other people and get direct information. We will, of course, be having panels. We're not going to completely rip out the system. That would be very silly. There will be the usual convention information session, by which I mean this. There will be socials, of course. It is a very social city, and last time it was €12 for a bottle of wine at the bar in the hotel. So good prices. And whatever the last thing said, which I didn't know. So again, sorry, Karen. Okay, what does it say? It says, oh, I've said that already. So yeah, next slide. Okay, so one of the other things that we also wanted to do is a lot of people come to SMOFCon to work, but there are also people who come to learn, right? And one would hope that both of those things happen at the same time. But what we would like to do in terms of both putting the program together and also enabling that level of networking that newer people perhaps want and need and ice-breaking is to run a BuilderCon in the background. So if you are not in your 100 meetings, if you are relatively new, then you can opt in, you don't have to do this, to building a convention during the convention, which you'll then present at the end. And that hopefully will also reflect in the program. So we will tier the program in order of how you would build a convention, participants willing. So for example, you'd start off with bidding and how to choose your site as the first session. So then you'll move through setting up your timeline, recruitment, and on and sort of through the stages of the convention. So again, that's the kind of timeline for the way the program will work with this kind of game in the background. Yeah, so mandatory fund for all. Next slide, please, which I think is one of the last ones. Yep, so the 2021 SMOFCon that was there already had a hybrid program, so we know that it's capable of streaming out. We'll just be checking that with the venue. We're obviously already talking to them, and we aim to do that again with Discord and various different online sessions. And obviously, again, this session will be the same here. It will be recorded and so on and so forth. Okay, so we're currently deciding our membership rates. We'll have them up as soon as we possibly can. We're aiming for end of January latest. Having said that, as expected, Vince and I had a sort of private bet on whether or not Steve would actually crunch the numbers, and he has. So we have some provisional rates, which I can kind of tell people they may shift around a little bit, so I didn't want to put them in stone. We will have a reduced rate, we will have an online only rate, and we also have the I Love Lisbon rate. So previously at the previous SMOFCon in Lisbon, people came because Lisbon. Okay, and it's a great tourist destination, and it's also quite warm this time of year relative to other places. And so we wanted to sort of accommodate for people who would like to come along, but perhaps don't want to sit in 4 hours of a WorldCom QA session. So there will be a sort of short and sweet attending rate for you to be able to socialise. Yep. And that's it. So thank you very much. Thank you.
I have a question. Esther, I have a question.
I also step out from the Q&A. So if questions come in from the chat, you can look, or you can see it as well there. There was one that came in before, but I think we already answered it, which was about online recorded, but I think that was covered as well. And we'll take questions in the room. I think we've got this red. With it, or...
Yeah, push the button. Okay.
Let me show you.
Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. So we'll take questions in the room and on Zoom, and Carolina will direct that.
The person in the red. Oh, okay. Maroon.
So I would like to request a pledge, if you will, on this platform, that you will contact all known bids for World Funds and aspects of the Stockholm, as well as the Cedar Funds directly, no later than the beginning of October, to get the FAQs and specific information about when the Q&A will be and how much time they will have, so that they actually have a significant amount of time to go with that.
Yes, okay. I will make sure that that is in the timeline and has a date. Let's provisionally say, did you say the beginning or the end of October? So the beginning of October, so let's provisionally say the 7th of October. That's a week before my birthday, so I'll have a real cool reading. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good point. Oh, sorry. Somebody in the Peter Davidson, the amazing Peter Davidson. Sebastian McCoy. Oh my gosh. I'm going to Gallifrey this year as well. That's going to be awesome.
So the plan is essentially RPG is you have to do the whole thing start to finish,
No.
because there's just one area you want to concentrate on.
100%. And again, that's definitely a work in progress. I think, as you know, I teach games, so that will be something that I will think about the practicalities of rather than making something really difficult and hard. We're not here, again, we're here to have fun and to talk to each other as well. So I think that's a good point. You know, you don't have to be there at the very beginning or at the very, very end. And I think this is some people will get into it and some people will be like, nope, and that's fine. But yeah, you're not going to turn up and it's going to say, congratulations, you're the chair. You have to role play this for the entire weekend. That would be awful. So yeah, I have also done that event. It was bad. So, yeah.
Have you negotiated with your facility to shoulder that?
No, we will be talking to them though, and yes, we will be negotiating for shoulder nights. So yes, that is TBC, but yeah, we have just locked in the dates. So yeah. Okay, I don't see any more unless anybody else. Oh, I'm so sorry. Person with the great dress on.
Did you consider
Okay.
doing something on conference, if you know what that is?
Sorry, could you repeat the question as there is a tech here?
Did you consider doing something on conference?
Oh, our conference stuff. No, I haven't thought of it.
Repeat the question.
Okay, have we thought of using the unconference model, which is a model of unconferencing? It's a style of conferences that is unconferencing, and the answer to that is I hadn't considered it, but I will go away and have a look at it, and I can talk to Vince about that. I think what I would sort of want to emphasize, and don't want to break everything for the sake of it, But I think there are some interesting things that we can do. The space at Lisbon is very social as well, and I want to kind of build on that. So, but yes, no, I know I can talk to you about that afterwards as well. So there's a question online which I will read out.
There is a question about.
Hotel is several stops using what? Bus, subway, light rail.
Oh, apologies. It is. Was it light rail? It was 2 stops on the it's 2 stops on the light rail.
Light rail, 5 to 10 minutes by taxi. It's
There we go.
very, very close to the airport. Very, very close to the
Thank you. Thank you, person who has been to the venue.
It's 2 stops. 2 stops.
2 stops.
Confirmed by a local. Very good. Any other questions?
Oh, person with the black t-shirt. Oh, no, not the person with the black t-shirt. Person with the grey jumper on.
So, the first question that, where is it in relation to like the city centre and all the tourist stuff? Is it the city?
Is it possible to hand that to a local who can answer the question?
Okay.
Well, sure, you'll get your steps in, Meg. It's okay.
Big area, it's really not renovate downtown. So it's easily accessible, so like 20 minutes by metro or by the river side. So it's easily accessible even though it's not really solid.
People on Zoom can't hear that. So can you proceed?
Yes, so 20 minutes into the town centre, which is a historical city, so has the access issues of a historical city. Was there anything else? Sorry, my brain farted very loudly.
Hopefully that's.
I'm very tired.
It's very easy to get to the city
It's
centre.
very easy to get to the city centre, given that we're on the line. Right.
Okay.
Not seeing any more questions online unless you're pointing to something, Carolina. Yes, I'm sorry that you couldn't hear that question, Kayla. The microphone is not super. We will try and amend that in the next talks.
Again, because I'm part of this, ask Carolina to run the, shall we say, the selection process.
What? What should I do?
Yes, good point. Are there any other bids for 26?
Motion to pass by acclamation?
I can't hear you, so repeat that.
Motion to pass by acclamation?
Yes.
I don't see you.
Yeah.
Maybe can you give a timetable of when something?
What do you mean?
Website.
Okay, so again, we're hoping to get website up ASAP, which realistically, because the festive season is starting, is end January. We will announce rates as soon as we possibly can. That will be sooner again if we can, but I think that's a good kind of benchmark. You can of course already book the hotel, so but you won't be through our rates.
Thank you.
I want to know how many people are in the room right now.
So we've had one expression of interest for 2027 SMOFCon, and I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I believe it's Marie Vibert. Any Americans in the room? Vibert, okay. And she said, she provided a statement. Cleveland would like to make a bid to hold the 2027 SMOFCon. We have identified a hotel with very reasonable rates. Their non-discount rooms are $125 a night. With a convention discount, they'll be cheaper. It's close to public transportation and dining. There's a train directly from the airport to within 3 blocks of the hotel. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum is a short walk away, as is the National Women in Flight Museum. Both would make fun extra activities. Our nascent group Forest City fans are working on becoming a group capable of bidding for WorldCon, and we're eager for the experience of hosting a smaller convention. Cleveland has hosted WorldCon twice, in 1955 and 1966. There's a great deal of science fiction history in this city. A custom tour could include the neighborhood of the boys who wrote Superman, the library Andre Norton worked at, and the building where Roger Zelazny fenced for Western Reserve University. We can't wait to share this with you.